Eleanor. Do you like your new bowl? Yes. Do you remember the cat scratcher bowl I bought at Marshall's last week? Well, I found another one last night at Walmart, and it's the same piece, same price, different decorations on the side. But Eleanor was curled up on top of it like a little bit of frosting on a cupcake earlier. She's spread out now, giving herself a bath, but I am so happy she likes this thing, especially since it costs $15. Buddy, what? What? You're driving me crazy, cat. You're driving me. It's not a pillow, it's a bed. You're driving me crazy. He cries and cries and cries and cries and cries when he wants me to pay attention to him. I'll give him attention for like 30 seconds, and then he's like, all right, I had enough. I had enough. Well, you really must want attention. You're still here. Here, let me move your pillow. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Here, let me scratch your face. You want to have your face scratched. I know you do. I know you want your face scratched. Yeah. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. He'll let me do anything to him except pick him up and hold him. Oh, I know. Except pick him up and let me hold him. Ugh. Hi, Eleanor. I'm sorry I woke you up. You going back to bed? You going back to bed, sweetheart? I see your tail. I know I'm talking to you. All right, you go to bed. You take your nap. Stop touching me, Daddy. Sorry, honey. You go to sleep. You've had a rough morning of doing nothing. And look at this. Look at this. I'm so glad I have two of them. Oh, do you see something? Oh. He looks so big when he's standing in it. Eleanor's back in the bowl. Oh, I'm so happy they like these. I mean, I spent $30 on two of them, so I'm glad they used them. Buddy, how you feeling after your nap? You look a little groggy. What's that? You want a treat? What? Hi, Eleanor. Hi, baby doll. Are you enjoying your little bowl? She's spent a good part of the day in it today. She's dragged over her favorite little feather toy for now, too. Oh, you are cute. Hey guys, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. I'm just popping in real quick, hence the fantastic lighting, just to say hi. It's Vlogtober day 13. Not a lot has happened today. I took apart my lunch bag. I want to reassemble stuff. I took apart my rollerboard as well, meaning I took everything out of it to repack it because the cooler weather is starting in some parts of the country. And my next layover, I'm going to need pants at least, if not a jacket. But I'm going to put together my rollerboard tomorrow. I might use that as a chance to film something for Vlogtober because some people really are curious about how flight attendants pack their bags. We'll see if it's interesting or not. But schedules were released today, or lines were awarded. So that's the same thing, just said two different ways. Someone in my comment section wrote that they still don't understand what bidding for a schedule or bidding for a line means. And I've tried to make it clear, but I guess there really isn't a way to really make it clear to someone who doesn't live in the industry. Let me think. If you have 600 cakes, like, you know, vanilla cake, chocolate cake, carrot cake, say there are 600 cakes and you have 20 tickets and you're going to put tickets in the bowls in front of the cakes that you really want. Those are the cakes you really, really want. You've got some extra tickets left over that you can throw into the into bidding for other cakes that aren't so nice, but you really want that carrot cake. So you're going to put your most important ticket, your first ticket, in the bowl in front of that cake and hope that you win that cake. Now, the odds are stacked in your favor the longer you've had that ticket. Does that make any sense? I'm trying to think of a way to describe bidding for seniority. So people who have been with the company longest get their first choice of cakes, schedules. People who have been there like me, 6.5 years, my seniority is pretty good. I'm in the lower 25% or the higher 25% in terms of the strength of my seniority. So I get pretty close to the perfect cake for me. People who are super junior to me, though, they might get a cake, but not the cake they really wanted. Does that make sense? You know, if I can't think of something, I'm going to use food as an analogy. So that is something of an idea in terms of what bidding is like. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, I tried. So I'm gonna really quickly show you my schedule for October. I'm not gonna linger too long on it because I'm gonna do my damnedest to swap out of some of these trips, or at least pick up some extra credit for the month, because it's a very low credit schedule. But conversely, I'm home a lot, and that's actually what I really like to do. So we'll see. I'm sure there are 1,000 other ways to show you better and with more finesse, but I'm just going to fill in my screen as I have done before. So let's look at my schedule real quick. Let me take a peek real quick before sharing this screen with you. I know that the first trip of the month is a Tampa trip. I've got a 2-hour and 51-minute sit. The second trip of the month, I've got a 2-hour and 59-minute sit. And I think the rest of yeah, I think that's it in terms of sits. And a sit means we land in LA, we sit there for 2 hours and 50 minutes, and then we take off again. And sits are just deadly because they just suck your enthusiasm and energy out of you. But there's only a couple long sits. I'm going to try and get rid of those. But let me show you what my schedule looks like, and we'll go from there. I know there's better ways to share this with you. I just can't imagine how. But let's see if I can bring this down. Here we are. So this is my schedule, or my line. And you can see why it's called a line, because it's like a little line of a schedule. So the first trip, the first day of November that I'm working is actually the 1st. That's the last day of my last October trip, and 7 hours and change is actually rolling into November from that trip. So I'll be working pretty hard that 1st of November. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, I'm off. I'm going to try and pick up a quick trip on the 3rd and 4th. Just to see if I can get some extra money, because this line is very low credit. The first trip is a long Tampa trip. So my report time for work is 8:20 p.m., which is very nice. I get into Tampa early the next morning. I've got 26 hours to go to Busch Gardens and ride roller coasters and scream. The next day I go to Fort Lauderdale. I think I have like a 16-hour layover. So I'm only gone from base for about 64 hours on that first trip. That's ideal. The credit for that trip is just about 18 hours. So that's fantastic credit for doing hardly anything. This is what that trip looks like. If you want to know what a schedule, one of my pairings looks like, you can see on the left, on Monday the 6th, we leave at 9:19. We arrive at 4:37. You can see that from left to right, where it says ARRL, that's arrival. So 4:37 in the morning in the East Coast, we arrive. I don't have to get back to the airport until 7:10 a.m. on Wednesday, where we fly from Tampa to Detroit. And then we are going from Detroit to Fort Lauderdale. I'm there for about 16 hours. Then the last day of the trip, the 9th, we fly from Fort Lauderdale to Detroit, and then Detroit to Las Vegas. And I should arrive in Las Vegas by about 11 o'clock in the morning. So that's utterly like the best trip ever. I'm only gone. See the bottom where it says TAFB? It's time away from base. I'm only gone from home for about 64 hours, but I'm still getting almost 18 hours credit with a long layover in Tampa where I get to, like, you know, ride roller coasters all day long. So that's the ideal trip for me. So I'm very happy with that. Down here, the next trip is a Chicago layover. The layover in Chicago is just about 17 hours. So right here, I hope I'm not making you sick. My report time for that Chicago trip is 7:24 p.m. We fly to LA on the Sunday the 12th. Then we fly from LA to Chicago. And then I have a 16-hour layover there. Then that Monday, we fly in from Chicago to LA. And it says the 13th and 14th because I think we fly into, I'm back in Las Vegas about 1:20 in the morning on Tuesday. So that makes it technically a 3-day trip, but it's really more like a 2-day trip. And it is 12 hours credit. So it's not bad. I'm probably going to keep it. The next trip is, let's see, Nashville. BNA is Nashville. And that trip looks like, there we go. I'm going to LA a lot for for my trips. So the report time there is almost noon that day. We fly from Vegas to LA, then LA to Nashville. I've got a 29-hour layover. Sorry to move that, in Nashville. To come home, we go Nashville, Las Vegas. Then we do what's called a penalty lap or a victory lap. We do a Denver turn after that. That's pretty devastating. But I'm only gone from base. You can see the bottom, TAFB, time away from base, 50 hours. It's only about a 14-hour credit trip, but it's easy. And that's pretty much like all of my trips. The next trip I have is a Pittsburgh trip. And that Pittsburgh trip, I have a 25-hour layover. I don't know there's a lot to do in Pittsburgh. I've been to a conservatory there once and I enjoyed that, but I don't know what I might try to swap out of this trip. It's an okay credit trip. Well, we'll see. And then the last trip of the month is a Columbus trip. And that trip looks like this. It's kind of a painful one. First day, the report time is 10 p.m. We fly from Vegas to Columbus, CMH. I've got a 28-hour layover in Columbus. Then the next day, we go Columbus, Fort Lauderdale, Charleston, I think. Charleston, Fort Myers to Charleston. And then we would stay in Charleston for 15 and a half hours. And then Charleston, as you can see in the bottom, is Charleston, Vegas, Burbank, and then back to Las Vegas, getting home around 10 o'clock at night. And this trip is only, as you can see at the bottom, TAFB, time away from base, 72 and a half hours. It's for 19 hours credit, so that's not the worst trip ever. None of these are bad. It's just it's not ideal. First off, I have to work on Thanksgiving. second part, let me pause this. With the lighting. So I have to work on Thanksgiving, so I won't be home. If I can swap out of that trip so I can be home, I'll try, but I don't know. And second, bad thing is that while I'm working, it's actually a layover. So I don't know if I get, because that's I'm supposed to get time, double time for any work that day. I don't know if I get double time for the 4 hours I get credit for that trip, or I just miss double time entirely. I don't know. I don't know the fine tunings of that, but it's not great. But the good news is that most importantly, I got the 21st off, and that's when David Sedaris is performing here in Las Vegas. Now, is seeing David Sedaris perform in person more important than having Thanksgiving with my family? I'd have to struggle with that. I really would have to struggle. I love my new family. They're very sweet. Heidi is, I think, doing Thanksgiving at her house this year, and I really do love her. But David Sedaris. So we'll see what happens. If I were able to significantly change my schedule, I'll let you know about that when I can. But that's my schedule for November. So you've seen some cats and some schedules. And now I'm going to make something to eat because I'm ravenous. It is 8:30 at night, and I probably should think about, yeah, I should probably think about getting ready for my work trip tomorrow. Make sure my tablet is charged and all that stuff. So I will see you guys tomorrow, all right? Hopefully with better lighting. Oh, sorry. See you tomorrow. Fly safe. Bye.